Right. I'm just gonna catch some rhythms. It's cool. It's like this steep up launches, and then that slides down this steep slope. Just grumbles to a halt with these lower teeth right there. It's kind of sweet. Snarl. The whole thing's like fanning out so beautiful. It's like when you look at the weather patterns with all those arrows showing like the hot air, cool air movement. So much of that's invisible. We can kind of sense into it and predict where it wants to go. Now it's moving that way. Snarly boy. It's beautiful. I want to write it from the bottom up. He has an eyeball right there too. So that's kind of how I wanted to hit it, but at the same time, it's pretty beautiful. It's also like this dropping spiral going this way. And it's not just stuck to that two-dimensional plane, but it starts, that leg kicks up and comes off the page towards us. Circle some orbs. I did not do a gestural envelope. So we got limbs just line up the page. Look, we've got the side of the to be silly. And then this contour of that tummy to chest goes behind the arm. Just adds this nice again, depth. This is coming forward. I'm just gonna vary up the line quality. Just got some lines that are kind of shooting us forward as well. S curves everywhere. S curves are just kind of just that visual proof and sense of just eternal balance in movement, energy and motion. For every action, equal and opposite. Yada yada. Yin, yang. Just things in this perpetual flow and simultaneously always in a balance. Even if it's like an inverse ratio balance, like they add up. And if it gets too weighty on one side, then it's you have all this counter potential energy that's about to slingshot the other way. When we kind of get to control that as artists in literally any medium, just kind of guiding ourselves, which is like, in a sense, the first viewer. To kind of to physicalize and materialize what we're noticing, to make it apparent, not just necessarily bring it to the foreground, but to make it either totally apparent or subtly. And subtly is my favorite. It's like where you kind of get to suggest the direction, where a viewer, which includes yourself, might find something more. And the less I state it, the more it can be many things. And where you can look at a piece and see something different each time, or yeah. And that goes up exponentially, it feels. So as it kind of rolls away from us, this big belly, and then these contour lines, they're like the rolling lines on a sideways cylinder. Kind of arcs. Like that. And it slopes up. So not only is it like, it's not just straight like this pencil, but it has like this rotating curve, and it rolls away from us. That's gorgeous. Very cool. You can tell the parts where it's a little stiff because I'm losing that staggered nature. It's so subtle whenever you get to like fingers or knobby bones. That can be pretty hard. And all that means is we have to be softer with our listening, in a sense, and then gentler with our capture, kind of wider, looser. Like I'm feeling I need to like sense the essence of it. So it's not just this line and this line kind of jump out at us, and yet more powerful than that, but just subtly more, subtly less obvious is this to this. So it's essentially like the transitional curvings of this energetic that's going from the butt to the knee to the back of the, I guess that'd be like the equivalent of a heel, to up to here. So picture Tokyo drifting. Yeah. The cars are going up and it's curving. It goes down and it's curving. Yep. Rhythm's just Tokyo drifting all around, and it just creates this very exciting way of flying and flowing through our artwork. Just this pinch right here, but feeling that this arcs to this, arcs to this. I think seeing that, being able to notice that wider context of relationships right there is gorgeous. Whereas if I was like a literalist and drawing on a very one-to-one, what you see is what it is, which is oftentimes how I see a lot of people drawing, is we would be taking these lines so literally, and we'd be following them separate. And then I'd go over here, but I would not be noticing like the relationship between the two. I'd just be staring straight at that, all my attention, and then bring it over here. Like if you are that accurate and attuned, you're actually going to get a result that's that looks just like the thing, and yet it's going to lack this invisible internal energy that makes my phone vibrate because my mother's messaging. She has the bypass to my airplane mode. But it's going to miss this invisible oneness that exists right here immediately on this cohesive force that connects all these parts that you can get to anywhere from anywhere. Like this, how this relates to that. Like you don't need to notice it, but it's available. And like the more we relate to these initial curves and then iterate, like bring it down a notch, like and just a fractal that goes inwards. And yeah, I guess it's like a, you know what? It's a rabbit hole. Because the words aren't coming. So it'd take me a moment, but I also feel like I'm still warming up. Because this book has so much to give. These are almost like single line drawings. Or at least they're very reduced. I mean, this whole leg is just one listening line. Reminds me a lot of Egon Schiele. Also very contoury with a lot of attuned listening, like each of these subtle bumps. And then it's kind of loosened up over here with more aliveness. And what I'm seeing as the difference is, so let's do part of this guy. His name is Buck. So just gonna get that quick super light block in the main body shape. There's a word in French called le pire, like the utmost, the highest, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering my French, but it feels right. I'm always like trying to remember like what's the word of that, like for like this deepest, the highest point of like a triangle or the culmination right here. So anyways, I want that word because mine was a bit this direction, whereas I'm feeling like this was just a bit farther that way. I almost said obviously, but it was obvious. We wouldn't have done that, would we? We might have, because I think this wasn't paying as close attention as I might. I was just going with that equilateral triangle. Anyways, squirrels. So let's try to just really attune to this line. I see it going up here, maybe. Catch to get that. It does two things. It gets that fold of tissue that's right there, as well as gives us like a little zigzag to get back on the horse track. There's a bump. There's a lift here, but whatever. Or it's just one of those. So it's this very attuned line that's going on. I'm just going to go a little faster. And the result is pretty fun. Got the back of the hip bone. Tips down. And like you can start to notice like there's that, this looks mostly straight, but there's like this subtlest curve that way. I don't know if I'm making it up, but I feel it, and it is gorgy. And so already here, I'm getting to this curve, and I'm relating it to this one because I want this to kind of have this echo resonance, almost like a radiating fan. Like we got this one here, and this one's like I want them to kind of have this echo relation, where again the belly of the curve is over here. This one's not right above it. That would send us launching this direction, but we want it to launch this direction, like move us that way. So I was considering how these two just have such a different feel. And it's because over here, what I'm feeling is we have, I guess I can apply this feel to this pose. Is that lines kind of are giving us more dimensionality because there's this constant overlap with the rhythms, like how this line goes over and above this lower one. We have some lighter moments. Oh, here, light. And then again, there's like a, oops. Thumb erasers are great because you can just dab it to lift it, not lose it. And then this one, so this line overlaps to that one. And then again, notice how vertically this is actually a little more to the left. So this swoops, stops there. But if we drop a free vertical, that it's to the right of this guy. So it's almost like a launch pause, like a, I don't know my skateboarding tricks, but you go up, you catch air, and then you land ever so slightly, and yet 100% related to that that action, that movement that set you on that course. So just noting how these are beautifully related. It's all related. What am I getting at? You watch here. And just, again, these lines we're always feeling that radiating. So it's not just a fan going like that, but it's a fan going like that. Like that. So it's like a stop animation movement. This here. And I'm also getting a lot of these loose movements because I'm drawing from the shoulder. This is always going. I'm not here hinging at the wrist. We could, but if I do that, I end up not just holding like a writing utensil, but there's a lot of push and pull in this direction as I go. So it's like it uses all the axes. Even then, it's not what I'm feeling like doing right now. Holding it like that. So I didn't even plan on talking. But once I start looking, I start seeing things. And again, I'm like competing with this inner push flow of kind of where my heart and mind are at lately with how I've been drawing, which is I love using the side of the pencil. But it just has this more, we might call paint-like quality, because with a paintbrush you have a width, whereas this, sure, you have a bit of a width going on, but it's more point in terms of our tool sets than not. So I can shoot that in. Just because like I felt that thrust right here and I just wanted to I just want to catch it with the push of the side. not necessarily considering light, just the feel and the force of that powerful bone. You feel it, especially relative to these. They're still powerful, but that one like it's kind of like a steel bar feel to it to me. And then you get to go crazy. Everything's triangles, and then we can snip portion of the triangle not serving. It's a bit of a stumpy horse. Feels like it, but all good. If the objective was to make a perfect copy, whatever. Or if it was to study this exactly, but the objective of this was to get me doodling, get me loosening up, and we can just add a little arrow so the viewer knows to shift all of this right. Or we could do it ourselves, but getting lost in it. My God. So it's like these two merging plus some just freedom that really comes with these radiating forms. Like instead of just stopping it and then bringing it down as like a horse in that position might be, it's blossoming and blooming with these scaling, just radiating lines. What time are we at? What app is this? How do you see this? 24 minutes. Looking gorgeous. And hilarious. Let's see what happens with some pen. Still want to kind of draw big, so I'll probably come back into these. No, here I go. Look into my brain. I'm just liking I think the staggering relationships, these funny shapes. Some mixing lines with, I view them as orbs. Looks like a circle, but I think the mind, or my experience of this is like kind of 3Ds it in my brain because I've done so many of these that I can kind of sense because of the placement. Just the purpose of that denotation on the page. Kind of want to land these. He's got the nice pinch. It's funny because these feet almost look like they're going out like Charlie Chaplin. Not totally, but you know. This one. That's what I wanted to hit. And pen's just fun and chaotic, and I have to remind myself here and there, not today, literally, but just my goal is not to get a result. It's the doing. I'm just, well, sometimes you just have to allow yourself to push your own paint, like, and stop second guessing yourself. Like, make it ugly drawing or painting here and there. Just make friends with that, and that is your right to mess up, quote unquote. But it is your birthright to just stumble. And it's so awful that that's kind of trained out of us with comparison and then shame and all that good stuff. That we literally hide our mess ups as though everyone in the world is hiding their mess ups. Feels like sometimes, and only we could everyone just show each other your cards, and then we realize we're all holding different parts of the same map, which is just to be in a flow. And instead of I can't believe you did that, it's more of a ooh, let's explore this and see where it takes us, or see what we might learn or find here. But that back sass is just so funny. Still drawing this, or at least I don't know if I'm drawing it. I'm just kind of emotively responding to it. Like it can just be an abstract whatever. Like just that satisfying scritch on paper. It's allowed to be. Guess this curve. And there's a million right ways to do this. True ways to do it, I guess. And catch that really solid base. This front part really just slams into the ground for me. And this back part, kind of like it's like they're of service to it, like they're rushing up to this lead soldier that's standing there, like with news of sort, or just that feel. And together just make a beautiful balance. We've got this upper part. It's a gorgeous ziggity zag, and then nice pinch drop of the head with the skull or whatever. Alright. All of it wiggly. Catching these complementary outward push forces. Catches down here. There's squirrels everywhere. As in, it's so hard for me to keep on one track. Just everything's kind of jumping out at me and catching my eye, and I want to go for all of it. And if you can keep everything in balance, you can. And in a sense, it'll, as you get further into it, it will tell you what needs to go in order to make a piece that will then just hum and vibrate without continued additions to it, continued tending. But the onset's like explore every door if you feel like it. That's why I play video games. It's like I like to take my time and do every side quest. People get so stuck on I guess the top of the mountain. Like we gotta rush there faster, and it's not an ultimate truth, it's just popular. Good. And for why, it doesn't matter. If your heart doesn't sing that, isn't drawn to it, don't need cool hand. The nooks. And like the hand is short compared to an arm, but even that, the hand gets foreshortened, so you have this front of the wrist, and then it's dropped below, and then that knuckle's dropped below. A pinch there. Again, we need to find the word for like the tip of that hill. The pier. P-I-R-E. Funny fun. Totally remembering this wrong. I used to be good at French. We'll bring it back sometime. Shade the bottom plane of that wrist. But the thing I got distracted from describing, of course, was just with foreshortening, can we just create a general orb, like a stack them like marbles? Like one in front of the other. And then you can go back, once you have like a general feel for it, you can go back and connect them as you like. Enhance some moments while leaving others more subtle. Add 2 parts infinitum. And then draw the wrist. Draw the wrist. And it's just beautiful copying her work, because every mark is in relation to, she's like a stemming from something. Her attention plus the tool she's using is a constant stem, like just like a tree of life. The next one births, the next one births, the next one births, the next one births. And it's just constantly, yeah. Noting just these hatch marks, which have something to do with the dimensionality and the movement, which is inherent to this flow. So we've got this S-curve come this way, and it's going to veer into that one as it rotates around the form. But just these kind of warm, rounded, hugging contours across this front plane, they start to roll this way, and they flatten out. And then we're going to rotate 90 degrees, and then get this cylindrical tube of the back of this forearm. Just kind of ride it and feel it, and draw it over the other hand. Feel that going this way. It's just a lot of fun play. Shade this thing like I meant to do that. Totally. That's pretty sweet. It's beautiful. It has more of a finish, but it doesn't slam me in the more like the lower gut heart, as much as these light ones, which are like they're ghostly and godlike. Like you can swing your arm through them, but at the same time they can like knock down houses. Whereas this one feels more, it's cemented and dry, like it's frozen in bronze, but it's no longer alive. My sense right there. And again, I'm an infinite number of people. I can look at that tomorrow and be like, that's the most beautiful thing ever. And there's a lot of gorgeousness to it, but I just like this light airiness to these pieces. Because these are different than that. They're, yeah, you got the sharp line here. But now this is suddenly serving I guess, a refined product. Because you can have a product, but leave it unrefined, leave it raw, and you get so much depth and continuous infinite read to it. But this one's kind of like it's just we're zoomed in and we're just filling in these moments, I think, still to make a beautiful point, but they're not quite the same as those Egon Schiele lines that I was liking before. These, like, that's the journey itself and just the listening. This one is now, the goal is not the journey itself, but it's to broadcast which has its own place. But right now, I just want to dance with my brain. So cool. Oh, geez. Gorgeous. And the squiggles, and then like, it's just so fun. This mass is in front of, and the part ripples behind and up, and then we can hop onto this train, ride the contour over here. There's just so much blimpy, cloud-like playfulness, and has so much volume as we float through and just feel all these essentially muscles, and then the, how do you put this, the isness of it, like the neckiness of this, and then that back of the head ishness, like words don't do it justice because they weren't meant to. They can't replace the feel that happens before the effort to kind of make just a dead sign that stirs emotions because it sends us in the direction, but descriptors will never be the lived thing in and of itself. They can get us pretty close, but they're their own thing. And then I just feel like, the side of my pencil to kind of just become the mass, like to grab a hunk of clay and just slam it on here and lose myself, I guess, into this. Because that was kind of the point of the mission, was to get stumbly on purpose. It goes that way. Neat. Resonance in the sinus. Taking some singing lessons, and we haven't even started singing yet. It's kind of fun. All right, it's all connected. It's all music. It's all resonance. So cool. This is the book I'm studying from. She's got a lot of others, but this is what I'm starting with. First one I ordered. Amazing.